Hi, dog. Oh, welcome back to Movie Take Tuesday, the movie review nobody asked for that I'm giving you anyway. Didn't know I started the recording. I was petting my dog, and I have a hotkey, and I must have clicked it. Anyway, today we watched Gladiator 2, which, if some of you are uncultured and unfamiliar, it is the sequel to the first Gladiator movie with Russell Crowe, which, by the way, that movie was the first movie was incredible. And I preface the first movie because, look, the second, the sequel, okay, I've been maybe not clear on this yet about how I feel on sequels, but well, because I didn't do the Joker 2 review on here yet, which, or not yet. I already watched that movie, already reviewed it, didn't post it because I didn't start YouTube yet. Anyway, sequels are hit or miss because it either completely breaks like the mold from the first movie and becomes its own kind of thing, or it falls into the same like story and or characters of the first one. And I gotta say that as far as Gladiator 2 is concerned, which I'm gonna start this off by saying that it was not a bad movie. It really wasn't. I enjoyed my time. Now, it's 2.5 hours, which I'm also not a fan of. Movies don't need to be that long unless they absolutely have to be, right? What are some movies that absolutely had to be 2.5 hours long or more? Avatar, the one with the blue people, not the like earthbending. What else is 2.5 hours? Was Endgame? Was Infinity War? Because those you could argue needed the time that they were given, right? Not a lot of movies need that time, and I would argue that Gladiator 2 did not need 2.5 hours either. But I mean, again, not a bad movie. But as far as it being a sequel is concerned, now I'm going to start off by saying there will be spoilers because I've got to talk about things that were similar to the first and the second movie, and that involves things at the end, and so you're just going to have to bear with me. Gladiator 2 starts off with like it's a black screen and then text pops up that's saying the events that we're witnessing are happening 16 years after the death of Maximus, right? And for again, those of you who have not seen the first movie, that is like the gladiator. He was a general in the Roman army and he got betrayed and yada yada. I'm not here to review that movie or talk about that movie, but I have to mention it in some parts of it because it is a sequel, or the movie I'm talking about is a sequel to that. So, you know, it starts off saying these events happened 16 years after the fact of Maximus's death. And if you don't remember, he had killed the emperor and was looking for this like dream of Rome, right? Or the yeah, this dream of Rome. That's mentioned a lot in Gladiator 2, so it's just worth mentioning now. And it just that right off the bat is just kind of disappointing, I guess, because you watch this movie with hold on. Okay. You watch this movie that is like, obviously they have to have a hook to the second movie. And it's the fact that after 16 years, people completely forgot about Maximus pretty much. I mean, they didn't forget, but like, you know what I mean. Forgot his ideals. And it really only took 16 years. That's it. I feel like it should have taken a lot longer, but look, I don't know. Okay, the timeline is just kind of screwy in my head. I'm not gonna lie, because Lucius is the main character of Gladiator 2. He's the son of Maximus, right? Again, which it's not really a spoiler, but it kind of is. I'm going to be spoiling this movie. Watch at your own peril. Watch this at your own peril. There's nothing to be in peril about if you go watch Gladiator 2. Anyway, I guess it's like it just ruined the fact that like Maximus fought and died for all this, and like it took 16 years and everything went to crap. But whatever. Okay, I get that. But here's another like. Then it cuts to Lucius, which he has a different name because he obviously took on a different name because he was on the run, and so he took a different name. I forgot what it was. It was like Hanma or something. I don't know. But it cuts to him getting at this other village in Africa or something, and the Romans attack it because they're spreading their empire. And his wife is in the battle, and his wife dies, which leads him to becoming, and they lose the battle, and he becomes a slave slash a gladiator, right? Slave turned gladiator. And it just was like, that's kind of the same hook as the first movie, right? Because Maximus's family was killed, albeit for different reasons and in a different way, but like, that's what brought him into that area of the gladiator and all that. I don't know. It just had the same hook. And so then I just kind of was expecting the movie to be a carbon copy of the first one. Because the first one was great. So of course, let's just copy the movie and it'll be great. Now, I'm happy to say it wasn't like that. It really, it wasn't. I think, like, as the movie goes on, you see that it is telling its own story. Because instead of, like, you know, Lucius being the one to like kill the emperors, it kind of happens in a different way. But it's still, again, dude who has status becomes gladiator because wife die. After wife die, get mad, and then win in the arena, in the Coliseum. I mean, I'm dumbing it down. There's more drama and stuff in between, which, again, you could probably take scenes out of that movie to make it not 2.5 hours long, but I still enjoyed the scenes they added, even if they weren't exactly necessary. Uh, it's just, I mean, it, it I'm trying to review this movie without just sounding like I'm talking about the first one, because there's a lot of similarities. And the more I say stuff, the more I realize that. But I will say the gladiator stuff was cool. You know, him actually being in the arena, and like there was some cool scenes, and like something that was fun, which I know this is a historical fact, that they used to flood the Colosseum and have like naval battles. This is a true thing. Okay, this is historical. What I don't know is if it was historical that they had sharks in their flooded arena where they had naval battles. It could be true. It very well could. My question is, where did they store the sharks? Do they have aquariums for sharks? Or did they go out and there was a lot of sharks in that arena. It was like 8 to 10 sharks. Where did they get all the sharks? Where did they store the sharks? I don't get it. But I mean, I guess it doesn't need to be got. It is what it is. It's cool. It is, albeit it is cool. But I don't know. I was just like sitting there thinking, like, where'd they get the sharks from? So anyway, as the movie goes on, you know, the mom is still alive for Lucius because she was the sister to the emperor that was killed by Maximus. And these two, again, another carbon copy part where it's like the emperors are still corrupt, right? And it's like these twin emperors, which they're weird characters. I mean, they fit the story, or they do a good job of acting to make them seem like just crazy people, because they are. But the story behind how those two became emperor was very not talked about at all. I don't know where they came from. They just were there. Maybe I missed something from the first Gladiator movie, but seriously, like, it was twin emperors, and there was a small, like, little tidbit story about how they, like, were abandoned in a somewhere, and they were raised by a wolf because they, were infants, and they basically breastfed from the wolf, and that made them emperors. I guess I could be an emperor. No, I'm just kidding. That's awful. No. But yeah, their story is just not explained, which, I mean, the movie was long enough, but they could have done for some explanation. Okay. What else happened in that movie? Because there was a plot, right? The guy who killed Lucius's wife, which started him on the revenge path, was Pedro Pascal's character, Acacius, I believe his name was, like a general for the Romans, and he was part of this group of people that were trying to, like, overthrow the emperors, and, like, he gets caught for that, which is this interesting. There were some great one-liners in this movie. One of them was done by Acacius, aka Pedro Pascal's character, where, like, the emperors bring him into their chambers or whatever and, like, scold him, and he was like, "You can torture me, but please don't lecture me," which is raw. Look, I don't care if you don't think that's cool, but to say, please, basically, here, would you rather have your skin ripped off while you're alive and your nails pulled out? Okay, this is graphic, but just bear with me. Or would you rather be talked to like you're a child? Now, for those of you that said you'd rather have your skin flayed, fucking leave. Oh, I cussed. Sorry, I don't. Anyway, just leave. Because everybody would take getting lectured at. Everybody. Not a single person would not take that, okay? I'm taking that. Talk to me like I'm a kid. Talk to me like I'm two. I'm not being tortured, okay? So that line is cool. You can't argue with me on that. And if you comment, "Oh, I'd take the torture," I'm going to ban you. I can't ban you on YouTube. This isn't Twitch, but I'm going to ban you somehow. I'll figure it out. Anyway, we're taking the lecturing, okay? So, great line, great delivery, loved it. And then later on, there's another line that was really good. Oh no, I forgot it. Hell, maybe it'll come to me. I'll talk about something else. So another character played by Denzel Washington, he was a big character where, like, he's using Lucius, the gladiator, to kind of gain political stature because he's the quote unquote owner of Lucius, which, I mean, it's his gladiator, and he's using it for, like, political moves to, like, gain control of Rome, and he did a great job. His character was interesting. I say interesting because I couldn't really pin down. I couldn't pin down his characteristics, I guess. So it was good. It was good. But it was just an interesting character. And so why did I bring him up? Yeah, he's trying to get the downfall of Rome using Lucius as a tool, and he's kind of just... he turns out to be the bad guy, which is interesting. I thought he was going to be, like, this guy that's all for, like, Lucius, because no one knows that he's, like, the heir to the throne, right? No one knows he's the Prince of Rome. And so, like, I thought he was there to help bring Lucius up and like show everyone that he's the Prince of Rome, which he didn't. He ended up being a bad guy, and then again, spoilers, Lucius had to kill him. But that didn't happen to the end of the movie. Which brings me to the end of the movie, which this is kind of a side note. This doesn't take away from the movie at all. It's just, at the very end, there's two armies, okay? I'm not going to explain. One of them's the Roman army. One of them's another army that was part of that insurrection I talked about a little earlier, like Acacius was trying to pull off. And they meet. The fighting doesn't start yet because Denzel Washington's character, I forget his name, something with an M, Martis, something, like meets with Lucius in the middle because they're in this chase or whatever, and they kind of duke it out because Denzel's character is trying to basically destroy Rome, as in sort of to restart Rome, if that makes sense. Sort of like break down all that they have going so that they can start something new. And because he doesn't believe in the dream of Rome, which is like this peaceful place run by the Senate, run by the people, so to speak. And Lucius believes in that dream. And so they fight in the middle. Lucius wins. And then Lucius has a speech, okay? Because of all great, all great movie general, like, hero guys have speeches. And he has a speech in an army of 5,000 and to an army of 5,000 to an army of 6,000. Tons of people. And he's speaking loud. He is. And, kind of brings this peace, right? He kind of pacifies the armies to the point where it's like, hey, we're both for Rome. Let's work together for Rome. And everyone's like down for that, right? Everyone starts cheering. Could you imagine if you were in the very back of that 5,000 and or 6,000 strong army? You didn't hear the speech. You didn't see the fight. You're just standing back there like, so are we about to like fight? Like, when's this starting? And then everybody starts cheering. It's just like, I don't know. It's funny to me because it's just, you're just some dude back there like, are we going to start killing yet? I don't know. And then everyone starts cheering and you end up probably hugging it out. I don't know. They didn't hug. Maybe they did. They didn't in the movie. But yeah, just a kind of side note, interesting part of that movie. But yeah, all in all, I really didn't hate the movie. It just was I felt it was just too similar to the first one. But at the end of the day, I enjoyed it. And I stayed for the whole movie. I had to pee. I did hold it. Not to the point of like holding it too long, but I did. Oh, right. Okay, also, the side quest. If you remember from one of my previous videos, I'm doing a side quest in the theater. Don't judge me for calling it a side quest because it's fun to call it that. The side quest, so the theater I go to has one of those fancy Coke machines that has like the buttons where you click on Coke and it's like, oh, cherry, vanilla, and like you can go through all the flavors, right? I'm trying every different flavor. I'm going through the machine, try every different flavor to see which ones rank the best. I already went through all the Coke products. Now I'm working on Sprite. I've already tried cherry Sprite. Today I tried vanilla Sprite. It's mid. It's just kind of you drink it and it's like, oh, that's Sprite, and then there's like a whisper of vanilla. It's like you drink it and you're like, like the old meme, like, why is it so spicy? Like Sprite, and then it's just like vanilla. That's what it was. So it was mid. But I mean, I'm working through Sprites right now, so the next week I'll try a different Sprite. So yeah, side quest accomplished. We move on to the next one. On to the rating. I don't know. I keep forgetting to set a freaking timer for these so I can know how long I've been recording for. Also, My dog is licking a chew toy right now, and it's really loud in my ears. So I'm sorry if that gets picked up on audio. If it doesn't, great. If it does, it sounds like you're slapping your thighs. Like it sounds like that. Like it sounds horrific. But anyway, rating of the movie, um, 7 out of 10. Not bad, not great. Could have done more. Could have been quicker. And could have. It's like I said. It still kind of told its own story, but it just was. It had a lot of similarities to the first movie. So, all things considered, not bad. Would I go to the theater to watch it if I were you? Sure. It's long. I went to the movie theater at 8 because there weren't any earlier showings. Didn't get out till 11 o'clock, which you're like, oh, that's 3 hours. Half an hour of ads, baby, and trailers and all that, which I like trailers. Tells me kind of which movies to look out for, but I don't know. 30 minutes of trailers is crazy. So, yeah, that's all I got for you. Um, yeah, if you enjoyed, please leave a like, comment if you feel so inclined, and if you keep coming back to the channel, click subscribe because it'd be great if you did that. Now, again, just doing this as a hobby, so if you don't want to, you don't have to, but I'd really appreciate it, and it'd be fun to grow this community out to have lots of dialogue on movies because I love arguing about movies. So that's all I got for you. Have a good week, and see you next Tuesday.